Well, I skipped a couple of steps. Intake manifold is not on, but rocker covers are on. As you can see, everything is masked up. It's ready for a coat of jam. So I've done the old ball peen hammer trick with the masking tape. What I like to do is put the old spark plugs in the spark plug holes. Don't paint in the holes, don't paint the threads, and you know what I mean. Take your time, mask things up, block things off. Another good trick for little bolt holes like this to save the threads, earplugs. Stick some earplugs in, guys. You can get a big tub of the things for like $10 at the chemist. Nice and toasty in here. So we're getting some nice warmth in this now. I've gone and taped up the manifold as well, under, on top. Anything we don't want paint on is masked up. So let's get some primer on this bad boy. We've got colour. Nice light shade of Ford blue. There's lots of different shades of this Ford corporate blue, or whatever they call it. Depending on what brand paint you buy, you're going to get a different shade. This is on the lighter side, as you can see, but I gotta tell you, I like it. It's going to look pretty good with the silver manifold on top, so I'm going to let that bake now for probably half hour in front of the heater. Just going to rotate it slowly, like a tender piece of meat. She is looking the goods. I can slowly start to put all the bolt-ons and stuff on it now. I've got a fair bit of stuff in here to go on. First thing I'm going to do is the intake manifold, and I've got some new gaskets for that. Now, some people run the gasket on the rear and the front of the manifold. Some people don't. Some people just run a big fat bead of sealant. Kind of depends what manifold you're running, guys. If you're running the standard cast iron, big heavy anvil style manifold, sure enough, I would probably run that gasket with a bead with a little dab of silicone. But for something like this is a Chinesium aftermarket manifold. If we do run that cork in the back or the front, chances are it's going to probably blow out. I dare say I'll probably be running the big 1/4 inch bead of sealant front and rear. To do that, I like to use this gear here, the right stuff. The chances of blowing this stuff out are very, very slim. Before we do anything, I'm going to chuck some oil down its belly, and of course our new cam concentrate gear here as well. Stick that into the run-in oil. It's also worth noting with something like this, a flat tappet cam, you want full zinc oil, and I'm running a 20W60 in this thing, which is generally what I run in the older stuff, Chevs, Holden 308s, things like that. Gaskets are on. Make sure they're the right way around. If you look closely, they actually hook into the head gasket at the front and back. Little bit of thread sealant as well goes a long way on our manifold studs and bolts, where our holes go through our heads and into the valley. So seal them up, guys. A nice thick bead of the right stuff. Make sure your Welsh plug is in as well on the top here before the manifold goes on. Alrighty, so using our studs as a guide, we want to lower this down in one smooth, straight motion. We don't want to go uncocked or start sliding it around. We want to go straight on to our sealant. Nice and evenly, just like that. We're going to let that sit for a little while. Let the right stuff sort of tack off a little bit, then we can put some tension down. Alright, so while we're waiting for that sealant to go off, we can chuck our gear in for our distributor. So a little bit of assembly lube as well. Make sure your shaft is in for the oil pump. If you forgot about that, well, you're up shit creek now because you're going to have to take the sump off. But anyway, so let's drop this in. There we go. You'll feel it drop in nicely and it shouldn't be able to turn. We're looking pretty good. We're just about done. I've skipped a couple of steps with the camera because I just wanted to get into it and get it done. It's all pretty basic stuff anyway. Bolting brackets on, you know, the dipstick. So I've got the manifold torque down now. They're all done to 24 foot-pound. And obviously they need to be done in sequence. Don't just start at one end and work your way to the back. Generally from the middle, work your way out. The carby is on, distributor's in, fuel pump's on, coil, all that sort of stuff. I want to replace all these old hoses. We've made the thing look pretty bloody nice. Can't go leaving all this old, ugly sort of stuff on. This is completely the wrong size vacuum hose anyway, so, you know, it's like throwing a football down a hallway. We don't want that. Might as well go and replace all of these vacuum hoses as well while I'm here. Alright, quick trip to Auto Pro again. One of about 10 trips to Auto Pro and Outlaw Speed Shop. Doing a job like this, you always need something. It never stops adding up. So, you know, when the mechanic gives you the bill, don't think he's ripping you off or anything, guys. If you want something done properly, it's all these little things that add up. And they add up really quick. But anyway, we've got all new vacuum hoses, some oil hose, some fuel line, a heap of clamps, a couple of block offs, and also I'm going to make a new earth cable from the engine to the battery. This one, it's seen its day. You know, let's get rid of that. Let's put a fresh one on here. Let's get all this buttoned up and get her home. Righto, we're ready to get this sucker back in the car. It's been a long slog, but if you want things done properly, as I said in episode 1, guys, you got to be patient, take your time, and just deal with it. You generally need 3 things when building a custom or a classic car: money, patience, and time. This is all buttoned up now and ready to go. All the fresh hoses and things are on. Need to put the flex plate and the rear cover on. I've got our flex plate bolts ready to go. We've got Loctite on them already. Now, I don't think I showed you when I pulled this apart, but it's a good idea to mark your flex plate and your spacer to where they need to line up. They'll only go on one way, as you can see there. Doesn't line up. So, and I mean, you'll nail it eventually, but just make your life easier. Mark them. Handy tip before you go putting the engine in, these early C4s, the standard torque converters, have got studs. They're not a through bolt and nut. So you have to basically line up the studs on the converter with the back of the flex plate, which can be a bit of a mongrel unless you're prepared for it. So do yourself a favour, rotate the engine so your bolt holes, or your stud holes in this case, are 12, 6, 3 and 9. Do the same with the converter, which I've already gone and done, and it should make life a little bit easier, hopefully. Another handy tip is get rid of the engine mounts for now. That way you've got plenty of up and down movement to wiggle it around and get those studs lined up. Otherwise they can be an absolute prick of a thing. So take your time, do the prep work first and make your life a lot easier later. $5:30 Sunday night, she's in. Pretty happy with that. Haven't had a weekend, but that's all good. I'm pretty happy to see it in. She's looking the goods. I'm gonna have a warm shower and a cold beer, but let's just have a look at that. It doesn't get much better. Celebrating a successful day with an absolute magic sunset. The big day is finally here. It's time to kick this thing in the guts. After a few more little things, I've got to put the headers on, starter motor, alternator to bolt up, do up the torque converter studs, just a whole heap of little loose ends. I'm going to start off with the extractors, get the exhaust hooked up. I've got all brand new gaskets here. Let's get this done. I'm so keen to finally hear this thing bark off. Rightio, we're back. It's the next morning and we've got issues. We've got no spark. I've tested spark from the coil to the dizzy and that is fine, but we have no spark from the dizzy cap to the plugs. So that's straight away telling me our coil is fine. I've also verified a good earth and 12 volt supply to the coil. So coil is good. Distributor. It is very common with these cheap eBay dizzies for the module to fail. What I've gone and done is hooked up the multimeter to our positive and negative side of the module, our B and C terminals. I've set this to DC volts, and what we want to see when I crank this over is a fluctuation on here. That module should be switching open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. And as you can see, nothing's happening. We've got spark to the dizzy, but we've got no pulsing from that module. So that is telling me the module is dead. So back to the parts store, we'll get another module. Hopefully they have one on the shelf. And then I'll be back and we will try again. We're so close. There we go, she is a goer. Just trying to get some heat through it. I've got the timing set roughly where it needs to be. The carby's not overly happy. We might need to get that rejetted and get the whole thing tuned properly, maybe even on a dyno, or at least chuck the sniffer up its ass and see what it's doing, but not too bad so far, so I'm just going to let it do its thing, give it a good heat cycle, get the thermostat to open, bleed the coolant, do all the things that it needs to do, and I'll be back shortly. But that's about as close as I can get it by ear and touch. And I mean, it's pretty bloody close. Oop, well, that was pretty close, but we've given it a heat cycle. Everything is happy. It's not overheating. Thermostat's opened up. Bled the coolant so I can get rid of this thing now. Good oil pressure. Everything is doing the thing. So I'm really happy with that. The carby will need a little bit of a tweak. And I'm no tuning guru by any means. I mean, as you can see, you know, yeah, needs a little bit of a tinker. And there we go. Job done, guys. Full fresh rebuild on this little Ford 302 Windsor. As you've seen, we've got all new bearings, new rings, new pistons. We've gone 30 thou over with the bores. A brand spanking new Crow cam. Feels pretty good, it's pretty peppy. I'm really happy with how this one's come together. I hope you guys have learnt something along the way. Not a great deal of silliness in this video. I've tried to keep it serious because it is serious business doing an engine. If you're gonna, you know, put a couple of cartons of beer on and get the boys around and have a party while you're slapping this thing together, it's not gonna end well, guys. Take it serious, do it properly. When you're investing so much money in a proper engine build like this, you wanna do it right and make sure it'll last. Anyway, that's gonna do it. Thank you very much for tuning into this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have liked this, please like and share the video around. Subscribe to the channel. It costs absolutely nothing, guys, and it helps me out immensely. Thank you all so very much for tuning in, and thanks for the support, all the messages, the comments as well. Really does mean a lot, guys. Thank you very much. Anyway, I'm going to get this bonnet on and send this old girl down the road. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.